So guys, I'm pretty sure this is either day 16 or 17. At this point, I don't even think it's a good idea to label these as days because I've missed so many days at this point. Not something that I'm proud to admit, or yeah, I'm not proud to admit that at all. And in fact, it makes me quite I don't want to say repulsive towards my own behavior and my habits, but perhaps that is what I'm trying to say is that I'm not proud of the fact that the way I do things, and sure, like me making this video right now, that gives me a little bit of grace, as it should, because there's a saying that says the best day, the best time to have planted a tree would have been 15 years ago, right? But the best time today is right now. I might have butchered that to some degree, but you get what I'm trying to say. The fact that I'm here making this video and just showing up, I think showing up has a lot to do with all of this, and it's not something that I'm physically incapable of doing, or even mentally. Like, this is quite easy, and just from that I can even admit, and from my analyzation of myself and my consistency that I've outputted so far, which isn't really consistent, I see why people fail. I see why a lot of people that quote unquote like post every day, but they fall off the trail, um, going forward, and yeah, and that's why a lot of people don't make it. And I got to have experience, not necessarily like I had made it anyways. However, that gives you perspective. If you eat like shit for a whole day, if you eat like an obese person for the whole day, you're going to feel the the shit that comes with it the next day. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So it was quite a long day for me. I drove with UPS. Did a good amount of time there, and I was kicking ass too. So I would say it's been a good day. It's been really a quiet day for me, and I suppose that's why I'm more talkative right now. This is the most talkative I've been today. I mean, besides dealing with customers and stuff, this is me actually talking, and that's a whole different story. But yeah, you gotta deal with customers, you gotta get signatures, and you gotta be able to communicate. Yeah, you can be a douchebag and just be like, I want to say douchebag, but there's people that just don't for some reason they just have no sense of connectivity, no sense of like I gotta ask or I gotta acknowledge this person. And granted, we don't all have to acknowledge everyone, right? Because it just depends. If they give you an eye contact, and if someone across the street's looking at you, you just, yo, just keep it moving then, right? That's acknowledging. Uh, yeah, it's crazy that there's people out there that don't even do that. Not necessarily the melting pot, but just engaging in any social dynamic. Not engaging in any type of social dynamic whatsoever, as if they're above it all. Perhaps, I mean, some people just don't give a fuck, but I mean, we're here to give a fuck about each other, right? Isn't that the whole point? Isn't that the whole point for me to make sure that you're doing good and God sees that and he's trying to spread his light, spread his positivity. And I mean, I would imagine that's what God wants. I mean, there's a reason why it feels good to be the guy that brings smiles to people's faces, brings a sense of. I was actually reflecting on that, by the way. Like, I just started doing this new thing at work. If I'm driving, right, I'll start talking to myself. To myself. And usually, I know that's not like that's not like reinventing the wheel or anything. However, it's not something that I normally do. It's something that, I mean, even though this kind of is doing that, but I'm actually talking to my viewers, and even myself, but not necessarily to myself. Like, I'm not talking about myself. I am talking about myself. You'll get the point once I go home with the story. So, I started doing this thing where I am talking and in real time I am micro analyzing everything. And obviously, I'm not being like a super big critic, but I'm thinking things and I'm like, I ask myself out loud, why are you thinking such and such? And some thoughts, obviously, I'm doing that more towards the thoughts that are not leading towards the vision or something that's bothering me. Let's just say that. Like, if your mind is against you, if your mind, I'm a little thirsty, if your mind is not 100% on your side, it has doubt, it has fear, it has um, negative self talk, it has all these insecurities, whatever it is, all these negative attachments that you don't want to have, especially when it comes to the mind, because when you have those things are your weakness. So when someone finds or someone says something, you're prying on yourself because of that. And I've been trying to reconstruct that thought pattern, and obviously it's not foolproof, at least not yet. It takes time. I mean, you've been raised up your whole life uh, dealing with ideas that are per- perpetrated upon you or forced upon you. People tell you how they view you, and you accept that as it being you. And obviously, that can be positive or negative. Hopefully, more positive. Hopefully, it's more positivity than negative, right? Because I feel like if I was to have kids, right, or when I will have kids, I will instill self confidence within them by breathing and speaking that stuff into them that makes them feel secure in themselves and be able to be open and be able to talk and be respectable young man and woman, right? I mean, that's what that isn't that the whole point? Why are we, I don't know if I'm saying this fucking word right. It's perpetrating. Why are we perpetrating these ideas these traumas that we endured in our lifetime onto our children? Of course, some things are more or less not avoidable, right? If you grow up in a poor neighborhood or the hood, whatever you want to call it, the projects, it's inevitable you're gonna come across some shit, right? But that's when it helps to have really strong father figure and a mother figure that can show you and tell you like, hey, like deal with it. Not in the sense like, fuck off. I mean, deal with it internally. Deal with it as in like, this is what you do. This is how you show up when this happens. If someone punches you, punch them right back, right? There's a lot of lessons that, of course, children and even adults nowadays, really people in general, need to learn, including myself. I'm not above it all whatsoever. So I have, I will say that I do have a lot of learning to do. I mean, like I said, we all do. But I mean, in terms of, for me, what I'm talking about is I need to really just go out in the world and sharpen my blade, if that makes sense. I need to really put my playbook in the works and see what works to see the results and then adjust and then redo it again, then repeat the process. I'm at that stage where that's time for me to do that, and it'll happen. It'll happen. So it's just kind of, yeah, it's just something it's a work in progress. And of course, you guys will see that. I plan on being more hands on with this and a lot of part of a lot of my other life as well. When I say my other life, I mean my other parts of my life, my family, my social life, my internal self, the life there, right? These are all things we need to constantly not only maintain, I would say also improve. You should also always try to improve your relationship with yourself, the people around you, your work ethic, everything. That's just the evolution of the life that we get to live in this day and age. It's the privilege to be able to do something about a situation, whether it's your situation or someone else's. And there's so many people that could use that help, that that helping hand. And God willing, I will be one of those people that get to do that for people. Um, as far as what I was talking about with at UPS when I'm driving and delivering packages, I've been recently just off the AirPods and not listening to anything. It's kind of it's kind of strange. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, it's something that I'm used to. It's like it's whatever, right? I'm just like that's why I say I'm thinking too much. I'm doing too much thinking. My thinking abilities are superior compared to my mind to my mouth abilities. My ability, I guess what I'm trying to say is my ability to portray my thoughts into words to articulate and then say it right so that people can understand where I'm coming from. Um, that's an area where I'm not the most efficient. However, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've ever since I started doing these, and I haven't even really been that consistent. Obviously, my my conversation skills, even though they're not perfect right now, they've I feel like they drastically improved, and that's also because of my self-esteem. Right, I'm doing the things that I said I was gonna do, so I'm instilling self-respect and self-esteem within myself by doing those things. And these things are not necessarily always easy, but they're things that need to be done. And I'm not gonna say I haven't been doing the best at those things and that I haven't missed days. I am saying that the times that you do go, they do count for something. They do something, right? You may not see results by going to the gym once a month, but if you go 200 times out of the 365 days of the year, you're gonna see a lot more results than just going once a month. So putting in the volume, putting in the work, obviously, hopefully more than you can, or be able to do more, right? Ideally, you want to be working on yourself physically. Let's just say, for example, you want to be working on yourself almost every day, whether that's just going for a walk as your rest day. You don't want to be just on your rest day laying back, watching Netflix, eating shit food, and we tend to do that, right? However, I try really hard. I'm not gonna say I try really hard. I really don't need to try. I am doing things every day, even on the days like I'm really lucky because my job is really already filled with cardio, right? I'm walking nearly I don't know how many miles, but damn near miles at this more than 10,000 steps easy. Plus the elements of the day, right? It's starting to cool off a lot more, so it's nice. But you get my point. I get to there's so many things that are being simultaneously worked on as I'm just going about my day, and physically, mentally, mental resilience, physical resilience, um, stress tolerance, everything. Just these are things that we don't even think about. I didn't think about this stuff until I'm now talking to you guys. And of course, I know these things because I know what I'm doing. If I'm going to the gym, I know what I'm doing. I know the reason why I'm there. When I think about the reason I am walking every day and why I'm losing weight all of a sudden, right? That's of course because I'm walking every day. So just trying to do something physical every day, and I keep getting off track, I feel like. However, let me just finish the thought with talking to yourself. So talking to yourself not only gets rid of all the bullshit thoughts that you weren't thinking, because when you're a really good thinker, you think a lot of bullshit. Even though that doesn't seem like it would make any sense, because, right? I mean, yeah. So that's why when you start to filter everything, right, and it just starts to come out like it is right now, I'm just talking, it gets rid of all the unnecessary things that you just don't need to be, that just has nothing to do with you. I don't know, you know those thoughts that just come to you, you're like, what the fuck am I thinking that about? Like, why am I thinking this shit? And it could be the most like random, the most disgusting, it could be the most, there's violent thoughts, right? um, there's a whole bunch of shit that you just think and you're like, okay, that's not me. That's clearly not me. Why am I even thinking that? And yeah, that doesn't mean that you are your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're just someone that observes your thoughts, and you get to mold them into what you want them to be. The mind is so weird in that sense, and it's actually fascinating. But more on that on a different video. But yeah, just filtering everything through the mouth and just actually affirming your life, affirming the situation that you're in, affirming gratitude towards God, towards the fact that you have all your limbs, your fingers, everything, just really, just really actualizing and realizing, I would say more actualizing, the fact that how good you actually have it in life. That's what was just, I felt so powerful when I was doing that. I was like, man, I'm really over here, just dressed sexy in a sexy uniform. I make it look sexy, to be honest. I'm standing at 6'4", 220, almost muscle, almost all muscle. Alright, still, I get to deliver packages. I know that doesn't seem like the most most exciting thing to do or the most interesting thing to do. It's like there's so many people that deliver packages, but when you think of it like this, you're like, damn, I'm really actually doing some really good work here, and I should be proud of that. And I should be proud of myself for doing that. I should be proud of myself every time I go to the gym. And I should be proud of myself every time I show up to do one of these videos. I get to deliver smiles. These are just examples of what I was just talking about. I was like, I get to deliver it today. I get to deliver some smiles. I get to make people happy today. I get to make people's lives easier. I get to make people healthier. There's people that ordered vitamins, whatever the fuck. They ordered medical supplies that I am delivering to them. These essential things that people need, and I am literally the one that gets it to them. I should give myself more credit. I should give myself more grace. I should be more proud of the fact that I am in such a grateful, the most unique situation. And the most unique situation is you. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll start to really appreciate life. Because that's just true. That's just the fact of life. And it's just something that we tend to resent, and we just don't focus on the good things. We focus on all the bad shit that happens in the day. The fact that it's too fucking hot. The fact that there's this bitch, calling me, doing this. Just let it all go. Just let it all go. I promise you, like, and I'm already feeling much better. Like I said today, earlier in this video, today was a really quiet day for me. And right now, I just feel like talking to the whole world, and I am. So, I really appreciate you guys watching. I really hope that y'all had a wonderful day this Saturday. I hope that we get to connect and make this world a better place together. And yeah, it's just this journey of life, man. It's it's more exciting than we give it credit for. We tend to focus on everyone else and not ourselves when we are the prize, when we are the sculpture that needs to be molded. And the only one that can mold it is really, truly you. So go be amazing. Go be you. Go be a man. Go be a woman. Go be whatever the fuck you are, right? Go be a dog. Just go be someone. Be a somebody. Don't try to be anybody else, but just be somebody, and that somebody is you. God bless, guys. See you guys in the next one.